How's it going, guys? It's a final render here, and welcome back to another episode of Fallout 4 Building with Mods. This time on Fallout 4 Building with Mods, we're going to be tackling a Minuteman themed defense settlement. It is true that I've never really given the Minutemen a settlement of their own. They've always kind of been my least favourite faction of Fallout 4, but we are going to give them a suitable defense area for today. If you think you're going to enjoy this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up, and I look forward to doing this video with you guys today. So, if you're brand new, please subscribe and check out some of the other videos, and if you've been here a long time, make sure you say hello in the comment section. So, let's get straight on into the video of Fallout 4 Building with Mods. So for this Minuteman themed video of Fallout 4 Building with Mods, we have come to Outpost Zimonja. Zimonja? Who knows? And this is an interesting settlement because there isn't really much to it, but it is designed to protect this big radar relay that you can see here so that we can actually send radio transmissions throughout the entire Commonwealth and further beyond. And I think this would be a place that the Minutemen would want to have under their control, seeing as we already know they send out radio signals from the castle. It would make sense that they would want to send that message even further. So let's go. Starting with the scrap all command, we're going to get rid of everything here, but as you can see, it only scraps about half of the stuff, which is very weird for me, so I decided to jump into the creation kit and make it so that everything was scrappable, and you'll be able to download the scrappable version of this on PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC. And now when we do the scrap all command, it actually does get rid of everything except for the radio tower itself. So that's fantastic news, we can get to work. Starting with the Homemaker mod, we're going to put down an awful lot of concrete foundation. I want this place to almost look like a little fortress built entirely out of concrete blocks, because concrete blocks are something that are easy to make and they are extremely strong. The only problem is you've actually got to move them there, but if you can find a way to move them there by maybe making some crane work again, then you can actually make some pretty darn strong fortresses. Using the Settlement Objects expansion pack, we have got a pretty darn heavy security door, and it works really well with this settlement to make it look like this is the only way to get into the settlement. And the only way to get in here is by turning all the little handles in there, making all the full animations work, which look really good. And tell you the truth, you can only do that if you're welcome. So that's fantastic news. Next, we're going to build some defense on the ramparts of the fortress. It does make sense to actually have some kind of tower overlooking the entrance so that if someone wants to come in, they'll knock on the door and then you'll be able to kind of poke your head around and see who's at the front door. But also, we are going to have some very tall defense structures on the outer edge, which are going to be built out of metal and wood. And this originally was part of the Tall Junk Fences mod, but as far as I'm aware, that mod has been taken down, unless it's been renamed as a different mod. I can't find it anywhere, so sorry about that, guys. But this actually gives you some really good, high-quality defense right here. There's no way you'll be able to climb over this with the barbed wire on the top, so the only way to get in here is by blowing the front door open, and you're not going to be able to do that with the defense we have got on the front. And here it is with all the kind of main defenses and walls done. As you can see, we've got some very high rampart walls which you can actually use as firing posts so that if anyone comes to attack, you can get rid of them before they come close to the fortress. And even if they get into the fortress, you've still got an awful lot of high ground to defend the areas inside. So now we're going to use some of the boxcars to make some kind of tiny little rooms. We're going to have a little entranceway, and also we're going to have a boxcar storage area. And this is a place where you're just going to store some kind of minor tools and also some ammunition, just so you've got a place to keep it protected rather than leaving it out in the open. As I said, it's a very small little area, but this actually is quite a small settlement. You really wouldn't have too many people posted here, but you would need to have all the supplies at hand ready for them to use should someone come and attack, or should the Minutemen need to use it as a kind of backwards operating base. So say if they get knocked out of castle, they can come here. Settlement Objects expansion pack also has this really nice mounted minigun here. Quite a lot of people have asked about that before, and the idea is to put it at the front door so that if anyone comes in, they can instantly be machine gunned down. It's not usable, unfortunately, it's only static, but it's perfect for the defense here. And now we just got to kind of power up some generators so that we can see at night using some of the cool spotlights that we can put on the front entrance so that we are always vigilant about who is coming to the front door. Next up, we're going to build a little garden inside this barn here, and this is a place to grow some very small amounts of food just to kind of keep people occupied during the day when they're off hours, give them something to do, and also it does provide some food for the settlement as well. There are an awful lot of mods going to be inside this barn, mostly for decoration, But as you can see, we are able to add all the kind of food we need in here, and it is also protected from people coming to take it, seeing as it is inside the fortress. We're going to put up some lights here because it is pitch black here at night in this part of the Commonwealth, and then when we actually get all those lights working, it looks pretty darn good. As you can see here, we've got some cool safety posters using lore-friendly posters, and an awful lot of clutter. Boston Bigheads also adds a pretty cool sign out the front because you need a little humour in your settlement. Crafting Fury GTX 9000 adds some really nice potted plants around the place and little vegetable baskets. Dino's decorations also add some other little crimscrams of fruit and veg and knives. And more colourful potted plants add some much needed decoration to the settlement. Whilst it's true I want this place to be very much focused on military, you definitely need some kind of place to grow food. Because as they say, an army marches on its stomach. And tell you the truth, that's a pretty disgusting image. Next, we're going to build some accommodation for the soldiers. As I said, there's not actually going to be too many soldiers posted here, maybe 4 or 5 at a time. So we're just going to have some very small bedding area right up here at the top. And also it has got windows looking into the fortress. That way, should you actually be overrun, you can retreat back into this bed area and you've still got windows to fire out of. This would be definitely a last minute form of defense, but it is much needed. It is higher up, so you will have the advantage over anyone who is inside the fortress, and the only way is to get in through the front door. So we've got to make sure we've always got a laser musket at hand, just in case someone actually manages to break into the fortress. And it is very small and very basic, this area here, but it does do a very good job of not only keeping the defense up, but it also gives us some much needed sleeping area. And now we are going to build a small little clinic. This little clinic is going to be built out of the metal prefabs, and it works pretty well in this case. It feels almost like a little capsule of some kind. OCDecorator adds some much needed decoration to the place in the way of medical equipment, and also we are going to have it so that it is towards the front of the base, so that way should someone be injured, they can get sent straight into the clinic immediately. There's no messing around trying to get to the back of the fortress and people jumping out of the way. It is just going to be straight into the clinic right at the front door. And we have got lore-friendly Flag Pack HQ to give us some decoration in here, as well as some other cool stuff from Settlement Objects Expansion Pack to really give the place some life. So here we go. It is a very small clinic, only 2 gurneys in here, but it does have all the stuff you need should someone receive a minor injury. If someone gets a major injury, such as a bullet wound to the chest or something, it might be an idea to get them onto a vertibird and take them somewhere a bit more efficient. But for here, it is good for minor injuries, minor radiation poisoning, and then anyone who has been brought here who is in need, I'm sure will be very happy with it. And now, we are going to really crank up the defense around the radio tower. The entire point of this base is to protect this radio tower and stop it falling into enemy hands. So we're going to put up some turrets along the base of the radio tower so that anyone who gets in will be instantly machine gunned or laser gunned down, which is perfect. And also we are going to build some more defensive ramparts around here for you to stand on and act as firing posts. We're going to have it covered in metal at the base of the rampart so that you can't just get in and maybe plant a bomb on the radio or something. And we've also got these fireman posts right at the top by the way of guard posts to stop people getting in near. We've got sandbags around the bottom in order to protect the people who are at the top from explosions, and also it stops you from climbing in. And we've also got these shack support columns right here to give it a touch of realism so it's not floating. So here we go. This would be where the main soldiers would be posted should they get attacked. 1 person on the minigun at the front, a couple on the ramparts at the front, everyone else fall back right here in order to protect the radio tower itself should they break through. And not only that, but it actually looks quite good as well. It really does look quite impenetrable. I don't see how you would get there unless you fought through all the defenses so far, and even if you did, your odds of getting through them are very minimal. We're now going to put up a small little water pump here, just to give it some realism really, because whilst it is true that this place is actually quite near some rivers, you do need a source of purified water, and of course, we need an artillery piece in here. It's the Minutemen, that's one of the only cool things about them, they've got the artillery. And now we have got the Northland crafting, resources and jobs from the NorthlandDiggers, which gives us some more kind of workbenches around here to make it look a bit more realistic and believable. And finally, Placeable NPCs gives us some Minutemen to stack around the place so it looks a bit busier. And here we go with the fortress fully done. Outpost Zimonja, Jumanji, blah blah blah, have never been safer. And the coolest thing about this place is it actually looks quite nice. Thematic and Practical gives us these really nice kind of flag banners on the top in order to stop the rain coming in and raining down on some of the equipment. But everything here I've kind of planned to be a fortified defense network, and I actually think it works quite well. There are little stages you have got to fight through in order to get to the main radio tower, and not only that, but it has everything that the main soldiers in the base would need in order to properly live here for a long period of time. And I really don't think you would be able to get in here even if you really wanted to. Probably the only way you would get in here is by using artillery on the base, because there's no way you could get over the walls, or maybe if you attacked it with a vertibird, say if you're a part of the Brotherhood of Steel who wanted the radio tower more than you thought the Minutemen deserved it. So that would probably be the only thing that could get in here, but for everything else, raiders, super mutants, feral ghouls, not a chance of getting in here. This place is fully fortified and fully secure, and this radio station is going to be proudly part of the Minutemen's war machine. And if I'm honest, I actually think it looks quite nice as well. Whilst I put a lot of emphasis on making places look pre-war and pretty, in this case I think I've done a really nice job of making it military focused, and it's very rare that I actually do military themed bases, but I really like the way this one turned out. I think it is pretty darn secure, makes sense, and for the most part is lore friendly, which is unusual for me, I know. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you subscribe to me, The Final Render, to get more Fallout 4 building with mods. And also we have got lots of other videos on the channel as well. If you haven't checked it out yet, Series 2 of Subnautica, I actually think are some of my best videos on the channel. I'm really proud of them and I really enjoy making them. And to tell you the truth, I really like the overall theme of the channel as well. It's all about building and survival, and you can't get much better than Fallout 4 for that. So guys, thanks very much for watching the video. Remember to give it a like if you enjoyed it, and until next time, farewell. This has been The Final Render, and you have been the audience.